Linux, now me and you both have criticized the writing over the years with Dragon Ball. I know particularly Toriyama made one of your favorite characters, Gohan, and one of your least favorite characters, Vegeta. I get. I gotta admit, Dragon Ball gave us so much fun. He's like, we got some fighting words there. All right. Hey, Dragon Ball gave us so many fun laughs and everything. But yeah, I know obviously this opposite. Gohan wasn't one of your favorite characters. Vegeta is one of your favorite characters. But no matter how much, with some of the writing things that happened with Dragon Ball, there were series that you gave up on. You never gave up on Dragon Ball. So, we've talked so much over the years about his work, but let's hear, what did Akira Toriyama mean to you, Linux?
Oh, man. Dragon Ball specifically, as you said, flaws and all when it comes to the story writing, because you know how nitpicky I can be. There's something about his character writing that is very specific to Akira Toriyama. I'm someone who reads a ton of manga. I watch a ton of anime. I am very big on, if you're going to do a villain, or if you're going to give a villain a redemption story, what that looks like. And this is kind of why, as much as anybody who knows me know, I'm a Broly fanatic, but when it comes to Vegeta, that character will always have a special place to me because of how he was written. You've literally seen somebody go from hating a character and what he had for Goku when they first met, to literally them becoming best friends, and it doesn't feel forced. To actually make that seem natural, to have the redemption, the life lessons, the understanding your own limitations, understanding where you are sometimes at fault for being your own biggest blockade and getting to that next level. You really see that with Vegeta, and it's written really well. It's one of the things, I think that's kind of the real reason why I'm not a fan of Gohan, is because that's what you're supposed to see with him, but you don't get it. It feels like a handout. With Vegeta, you see it. You see it in every battle. You see it in every loss. You see it in the decisions he makes. You already know my favorite quote is from the Majin Buu saga, when he breaks free of Babidi's spell. In the very specific line, he says, your business with the Kai means nothing to me. Kakarot is my only objective. You may have invaded my mind and my body, but there's one thing a Saiyan always keeps: his pride. That, and then Babidi's reaction was even better when he goes, what type of spirit allows the possessed to overpower the possessor? That goes to show you the type of will, the type of fight that Vegeta had. Because if you go back early on in the series, Vegeta essentially gave up when he fought against Frieza and realized he couldn't do it. To see him go from that to being able to essentially, I don't care if you have my body, I'm taking it back. Like, to see him go through that, to understand what it takes to push through, and to see that even further progress in Dragon Ball Super with, I know Akira Toriyama didn't necessarily write it, but chime in, you could see those elements still there. To create that, that nobody has ever given me that. It's very few manga and anime that I can say have given me that.
Beautifully said, man. I knew you were gonna definitely bring the energy, because Vegeta has always been a big conversation. And then as we finish off here with Kat, now both Kat, Linux, and I are actually artists, and I know Linux, probably same for you. I grew up drawing Dragon Ball so much to the point I learned how to draw it from memory, and I'm pretty sure it was a big deal for you as artists. And Kat, you are Dragon Ball's all over your artwork, so go ahead and finish off on what Akira Toriyama meant to your life.
Oh boy, it's so much to try to put into small words, but literally, if it was not for Akira Toriyama, I probably would not be an artist. I would have not fallen in love with it like I do. I've been in a lot of fandoms, a lot of anime fandoms, but the Dragon Ball fandom, I was knee deep in it, like during Tumblr back in, I want to say 2015 all the way up to like 2019, when it kind of died down before the Broly movie. And of all the fandoms I've ever been in, I witnessed the most beautiful artwork. I've read the most wonderful stories. And one thing about Dragon Ball, I think that separates it from a lot of shonen anime is the lore of the world. It creates such an open lore that people are inspired to write these stories. I've read stories about what was it like when Vegeta worked for Frieza, and not just in a stereotypical way, but a really psychologically in-depth way that it really resonates with you because it could happen. And a lot of stories don't do that. They don't really open up their characters to bigger possibilities, so that anything that you insert automatically feels like, it can't happen. But Dragon Ball has these infinite like possibilities of what can happen based, what you said, son, about the way that he writes, and what you said too, Lennox, the way that he writes, the way that he makes his characters is so uniquely Akira Toriyama. And being able to witness that in the fandom, and it made me want to write. I've spent so many hours, I wrote so many stories. I have a fan fiction and an archive of our own page where it's literally nothing but Dragon Ball stories because it felt infinite. Anything could have brewed from that. Then you see these artworks that people are doing, and I'm like, I want to do that. I don't want to just draw like Akira Toriyama style, but I want to draw my style, but like Akira Toriyama style. And nothing else had made me feel like that. So literally, if it wasn't for him sitting down and writing Goku and writing the original Dragon Ball, I don't even know what my art journey would look like. I don't know if I would have reached the levels of creativity that it did with me for writing, that it did with me for drawing. It introduced me, like you were saying, son, to some great people. I met people from Malaysia, from Greece, from Spain. I would have never talked to these people if I was not in this fandom. And the only thing that connected us was our love for these characters, specifically Vegeta and Bulma, like Chris Sabat. I met Chris Sabat, and all of these things that I think about sometimes in my life, some of the moments where I'm like, wow, I can't believe that happened, in some way involve Dragon Ball. So it's insane to think that, someone could just make something. Like you said, son, we're all creators. So think about making something and it's spread way across the world, where I know moms who know nothing about anime, but they know who Goku is. Like they don't know anything about anything else, but if they see you, they'll be like, oh, Goku. They see your shirt, like, I know Goku, my son loves Goku. Everyone knows someone that knows Goku. And I think for a lot of people that may have grown up in unfortunate situations, having someone like Goku and Vegeta and Gohan triumph over these perils and still be their best, I know that got a lot of people through it. So it just, Akira Toriyama meant a lot to me. When you sent that, Lennox, you were the one who broke the ice for me. I audibly gasped. I was like, oh, no, not the Akira Toriyama. Like, in my personal opinion, we were talking about this before we started. I just recently got back into the manga. Literally 2 weeks ago, I had this thought when I was reading one of the chapters in the Planet Cereal saga. I was like, man, Akira Toriyama is literally at his prime. He managed to bring this back, and he's really making it fun again. You can tell he's having fun with it. So it feels so unfortunate that at the height of what he could have had another peak, most people don't get that. When something is done, it's over, and he managed to bring Dragon Ball back, and it's still exciting. People are excited about this last chapter, and I can't wait to talk about it. So yeah, I don't want to get too long on a rant. You guys said a lot of what I feel, but Akira Toriyama's, that's a hard one. That was a hard punch to the gut. So may he rest in peace.
Just to close things up here, just hearing everybody's experience, it just shows you what you can do. My mother always says, you never know how just being yourself can positively affect someone. And that's exactly what Toriyama did. Just being his fun self, writing and drawing gags and stuff. It forms all this. Rebecca, could you show everyone the shirt you have on? I have a good point to make about that.
Yes.
The OG Dragon Ball. Friends and
OG,
family.
yeah.
That's the theme that Toriyama put. brings friends and families together, like it did with us here, like it did with many of the millions of people around the world. That is what it's all about. And Lennox said something about him being creative writing. I thought no matter what flaws were ever in the writing, Toriyama was very creative. He wasn't a perfect person. That's why I'm glad he didn't make Son Goku a perfect person. I think that's what made Son Goku relatable, because it's the fact that, hey, we like him because of his flaw. We like him in spite of his flaws. And those are just more themes that Toriyama did so well at putting together. And I can clearly see here that he will not be forgotten. Dragon Ball will forever be a part of my life. And to that, I say, Toriyama, may you forever rest in Zenkai power.
Thank you,
Akira
Akira
Toriyama.